I'm a little bit of a hoarder.
That's all right. Hey man, that keeps all the old stuff. So, so I love pulling back in when I was a kid, right? Both of us. We were watching when we were 14, 15, you know, 80s. And it was like biggest thing in the world to us.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
So, of course, Orange Blossom, Bigfoot, all that stuff, you know. So.
Yep. Alan passed away. Yep.
I was sitting on my couch about 2 months ago. I looked at my wife. I always wanted to go try to find the Blossom again.
Yeah.
So I was sitting on the couch, and I said to my wife, I'm like, I'm off this week. I'm going to go down there and find that truck. So I had the guy's name, the new owner, and a town, and that was it. So
the 4-wheel drive or the
two-wheel
wheel standard? Yeah, I thought he put that in like a Kentucky motorcycle.
It was, and now it's back with.
Oh, he's out of it there.
Yeah,
okay.
It was there for a while.
That's one of the nice things about Facebook. He's a little bit in touch. You know, his wife is on Facebook.
Carrie, Eddie Carey.
Yeah. Oh no, Alan's wife is on Facebook once in a while. You know, so.
Yeah. Almost sounds like it's a little. She didn't like.
Yeah, I haven't been caught up with it. You know, it's probably been a year since she's maybe had something on there. That's why I say I think that.
But we went and found it.
Neat.
So we found the new guy, and we walked into the shop, and there it is.
There it
is. So
is.
the guy spent 3 hours with us. He let me sit in it.
Yeah.
You know, I just went over the whole thing for like an hour, just every little detail of it. So that's what we're finding all this 80s pulling stuff.
Sure.
You guys were only about an hour and 20 minutes away from us.
Yeah.
And you had some of the biggest stuff around.
Yeah.
You know?
We were lucky for a while. Yep.
So it's kind of cool taking these little, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, we found a town, and then we found a name, and then so we went to 2 towns before we came here.
Oh, okay.
And then I never put together. I had Bud's truck repair or something like that in my line, and then we had a picture of Bud in pictures. I never put the 2 together. So we walk in here, and he's like, "Hey, look, here's the trucks we're looking for on the wall, and these pictures over here."
Spot. Yeah.
So it was really cool. It's just kind of fun to find this stuff and hear the stories, and you know, because you guys were at the beginning of it, right?
Yeah, well, sort of. I mean, there's probably a few guys who were, you know, Carl Bidwell and a bunch of other ones, and you know, 4-wheel drive pulling. And I don't know if he told you the story how he got involved in it.
No, he didn't.
We had our shop foreman ran a farm stock tractor.
Okay.
And then kind of, you know, talked my dad, you know, hey, you should, you know, take the shop truck. And so the first year he just had it was an old International shop truck.
The Blue Ox?
Well, before it was actually ugly gold International color.
And then wasn't it a Dare? Wasn't it a Dare?
It was a Dare, yeah, kind of a Dare. And then he kind of buffaloed my mother. He says, "Oh, you know, I don't know." He says the parts truck is going to need the engine's getting a little weak and we're going to need a new engine. Well, my mother says, go. That's not a big deal. Go get engine for it. Well, I didn't tell her it was going to be built shaper, and the headers are going to hang out out of the hood and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's how I got started. We pulled the local county, Jefferson County Fair, and his first pull with a thing bounced so fast that blew the transmission on the ground and everything. So, but yeah. So.
And then what? Bigger motors, like?
Yeah.
Bigger axles.
Yeah.
Transfer case.
He ran a blower truck for a while that he got from Garrity, who did Banner's engines, and then we were at Toma and happened to be sitting next to Rick Kipley, and he said, you know, talking with him, he says, you know, if I was building an engine, I'd maybe look at find out an Aries engine. One thing led to another, and Rick came and started building that. You know, a lot of our success in pulling probably goes back to Rick. A lot of the stuff he did, and he, of course, is behind a lot of things. Chris Holdorf's stuff is all built by Rick, and John Shaw's stuff. And
yeah, who is Shaw? What is John Shaw?
He ran a couple Allison tractors. He was really
Allison
the first.
Tractors, okay.
Yeah, originally he's from out. I don't remember the exact town in New York that he's from, but anyways, he must have met up with Rick too, and then Rick got pretty much built. He had a staircase, triple engine Aries tractor that pretty well could run with all the Bruce's stuff, Hutchinson's stuff, and Banner's stuff, and all that. And he drove it sometimes. Norm Smith who used to drive with Dave Banner too. So yeah, drove some of John Shaw's stuff too.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean when you think about it, Rick's. I always lobby for Rick to be he's the one that should be in the Tractor Pulling Hall of Fame, because he's behind Holdor stuff, Brockman's stuff. You name a whole bunch of.
Is there a Tractor Pulling Hall of Fame?
Yeah, the NTPA's got one.
They do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
think 2 or
Kentucky
3
probably?
people, huh?
Where's it at? Do you know?
I think in Columbus, where their offices are. I mean,
Really?
yeah,
Hey.
yeah.
So on the trip.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just contact NTPA. I mean, I don't know what they got any. I know Bowling Green's got a
Oh yeah.
collection of stuff too.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. At the fairgrounds, I think they got underneath the grandstand. They have at least they did have. It's been a few years since I've been to Bowling Green, but
I've never been to that one.
yeah, that's if you're gonna go to one, that's
it.
one of them.
in Toma.
Chapel Hill, Toma. Yeah.
Chapel Hill, is that North Carolina?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah. No, it's all changed. NTPA is one thing, and then they had the Lucas. I forgot what the series.
We saw them
two,
out in
and then
Farley.
and then they Lucas backed out of it or whatever, and I see they still ran last year with I don't know what sponsorship or what it was.
Yeah, we saw
what
them
was
2
called.
years ago in Farley, the
Yeah.
Lucas guys.
Yep. And Simon's out there. Yep.
Yeah, Simon's.
Yep.
Yep, we got some of their shirts
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, I mean, Roger passed away too. The father that was involved in I think the 2 sons are probably even bigger into it than Roger was. I mean,
Yeah,
Roger ran a lot of stuff, but the kids are now running. I see they're running a pro stock that's pretty well. I think the last couple of years he's been pretty well unbeatable with the thing, and then 3 or 4 of 2-wheel drives, and he's got an unlimited mod too. So
Yeah.
he's got more junk than when Roger was around.
Yeah, because the Simon Says stuff was big in the 80s.
Yeah, right. Yep.
He had a couple of those. So.
Yeah. So.
So when so he started out with the International.
Yeah.
And then it just progressed into bigger engines, and then.
Yeah. Well, then we got that Aries engine and the combination we had worked pretty good both indoors and outdoors.
So did his wife ever see the bills? Did you ever
Oh
see the
yeah.
price of the engine?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then
it
okay.
helped. But then we have there was a SRO pole, or the indoor certain pole at the Pontiac Silverdome, and we happened to win that night.
Okay.
And that had sold the most beer in the Pontiac Silverdome, except for WrestleMania. Had the biggest crowd except for WrestleMania. And my dad happened to have a friend from church that also was a friend with one of the sports marketing directors at Miller Brewing. And conversation led to one thing to another, and the guy says, well, the guys who won that poll were right here in Milwaukee. So luckily we got made connections, and
Okay.
the rest, that's how we got the Miller beer sponsorship, which helped offset what Mother would be complaining about a little
Okay,
bit.
that's So what year was the Pontiac Silverdome? You remember?
Oh God, I don't.
Because a lot of that stuff's on YouTube.
Yeah, that probably is too. I mean,
80s,
yeah,
you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not 70s.
Yeah, early 80s maybe.
Early 80s. Okay.
Yeah, maybe late 70s.
I'll look up some of this stuff, and
Yeah.
if I can find video, I
Yeah.
put it into the video.
Yeah.
And show that stuff. So.
Yeah, and it was Bigfoot's big coming out too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think. Yeah. So.
Yep. So then, how did he progress to? Well, that truck progressed into the Meisterbrau, or no?
Yeah. First was Meisterbrau. They decided that they're cheaper beer.
You don't even have to move.
Cheaper beer. The target marketing would be
Come
better
on,
for that. So that's I
Whoopsie.
did that.
Sorry,
So
got
was
it.
the Miller stuff first then?
No, the Meisterbrau stuff.
Oh,
was
the
first,
Meisterbrau
but the
stuff was
Meisterbrau is a
first.
Miller brand.
Mm,
So yeah. So
okay.
yeah.
And then he got into tractors. Sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, always hanging around. I always was impressed, with Dad Ford sitting there and going, Brewster Banner Brothers or whatever, going out and going, boy, that's really cool. And I got to get involved in that, And so then we built that tractor, that
Oh yeah.
It was that's kind of a copy of John Schall's tractor. That's a staircase triple engine.
What was the name of his tractor?
Northeast Raider. Northeast Raider. It's a gray, blue, and something.
I'll find a picture of that and
Yeah.
put it up there. Are you still? Is he still around?
He actually, now this has been a couple of years, he actually was drag racing. And he won, I don't know which NHR race in stock or super stock a couple of years ago. So, yeah, he's not, I don't see him tractor pull anymore. And
Yeah.
Actually, he quit when we were running too. But yeah, he had a super stock. I saw he won one NHR event.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So he's still around kicking, at least he was a couple of years ago.
Well,
So-
what came up too? There you go.
Yeah.
So you drove the triple engine tractor, right?
Yeah,
Or
kind of, because it was we kind of luckily get sponsorship from Miller and kind of.
Did you drive the 5 engine too, right?
Yeah, that was, like I said, we built that, and then we were probably 1 year behind when we built that triple engine, because by then the engine explosion had started, where 4 is better than 3 and 5 is better than 4, and so you can spin the wheels faster, and that's pretty much the name of the game, is who can spin the wheels the fastest.
And what were the rules back then? There was no just weight.
Yeah, just wait. As long as you
Up to
wait.
what, 12,000 back then?
Yeah, yep.
So
Hated that.
you could.
Piling on weights. That's what,
So did you run like 3 engines and then all the way to get to 12,000?
Yeah, well, run. When we built the 5 engine, we ran 5 with 2, and then run 4 and 7,000, and 5 and 9,000.
And then you compete in
12,000.
different classes too. You take a motor off.
Yeah.
Because they would do that, right?
Yeah.
Take
yeah.
one out in between rounds.
Yeah, in between afternoon and evening. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the difference between like when you're driving like the 3 engine versus a 5 engine? Is it just, oh my gosh?
The 3 engine, at least our chassis until the last one we built was an Engler chassis, but when we had 5 engines, we had a real hard time keeping it between the lines. Breakaways, it wanted to go wherever you could land the brake all you wanted, but we're running both 2 engines and 4 engines. Actually, it was more controllable. But anyways, it was, it's a heck of a thrill, just even with 2 engines.
Oh,
it's a heck of a thrill. Neat thrill. I could say I did in my life.
Does it shake you to death?
No, not really. Actually, the 4-wheel drive truck shakes more pulling wise than
Really?
tractor did. Yeah. So, but.
And you drove the 2-wheel drive too?
Yeah, a little bit, but mostly my dad, and we had a mechanic that actually he was friends with Rick, that he was I forgot the name of the big farming outfit out west of western Wisconsin, Bob Healy, and now he owns
Healy. He's the one we have on one of our pictures.
Yeah, he now owns Superior Cranes, so they do cranes inside of buildings and stuff. I think he retired now, and his kids are running it, but he was with us for a while. He ran the 2-wheel drive a lot of times, and then my dad pretty much ran it.
So you had like 3 things at a pull all at one time?
3 things, yeah. The 2-wheel drive was an offshoot of our, originally the indoor SRO guys were going to make a 2-wheel drive, a 4-wheel drive, two engine class.
Yeah.
That's really like
he gave us this picture.
Gary Collins had his
Budweiser boss.
Yep. So,
and that's the only other one I know of that was 2-engine 4-wheel drive.
A couple of course Alan built a 2-wheel drive two engine one, but they were looking for more people to build them, and they of course.
I didn't even know you guys had this.
Yeah, we had that for a couple of years, and then kind of basically took that all apart and used the body and one of the
Okay, so
engines
this
to
came
do the
first before the Miller.
Right, before the 2-wheel
this
drive.
one.
Yes.
2-wheel drive.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that makes sense. You got all that cover there to put the other engine in.
Yeah. It's a whole different chassis and everything. Everything's
Right.
pretty much about the only
body.
The body was about the only thing that we really used out of maybe I can't remember if we used the rear end out of it or not, but the rest of it was pretty much all different.
So, do you know where any of this stuff is today?
Well, he told you where the 4-wheel drive is, right?
Yeah, we got
up there, which
Yeah.
after we quit doing it, and Fred, our shop foreman at the time, took the 4-wheel, and we always had a problem with that Pogo, that sprint car chassis that we had built, you know, trying to keep it on the ground. And after a lot of talking, they thought, well, maybe it's too stiff, so they went and cut the back end part of it off and made it just a regular thing, and so it's not as nice as it used to be. It's kind of glamored up, but
It's still around though?
yeah, it's still around, I think. Yeah. In fact, I think he had it up for sale because he bought it thinking.
Oh, the
well,
Blue
guy,
X?
yeah, he bought it thinking that either Fred or another guy that works in the shop here that went to work for him was going to run it. Well, they never had any interest in doing all the work, and you know, it's a lot of work, a lot of you know. That's the thing, you know, and you don't really make money in it, you know.
Yeah, that's what I wonder about that stuff too. Is like, is it just all money outgoing when you're doing this?
Pretty
kind
much.
of stuff?
I mean, it was a little bit, a few years that before they started crashing monster trucks, and then deploying the indoor stuff.
Right.
Paid pretty good, that you could at least pay your expenses and that.
Get there.
But to get there and back, and some of the parts bills.
And if you break, yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like any kind of racing, really, I guess, right?
Yes, pretty much, yes.
So why do you think the indoor pulling stopped?
Start crashing monster trucks.
Yeah.
Start racing monster trucks and start crashing them. I hate to say it, people go for to see a crash, right? Just a little bit.
Yeah, grab that.
Fairway. Hi. What? Yeah, Mother was going to call Dave Gettleman about it. And I don't know if she's going to get to it. We don't know yet, no. Yep, so I would say still leave them at the way they were. All right. Yep, bye. So yeah, I think as soon as they started racing monster, crashing them, watching something go down a track, a straight line, and it's a little bit boring unless they blow something up, and the advantage is not to blow something up, right?
Yeah, right.
Hopefully, yeah, so.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's kind of was the death of indoor pulling was they started racing monster trucks and
I was wondering if they brought it back again, if it would work.
Yeah, I don't know, Mike, for a short while, of course, everything is, I mean, right down.
Yeah.
I mean, also, NASCAR's viewership is down, everybody racing, you know. Like,
Just a cycle of the things,
yeah,
right?
yep. Yep.
So you guys don't have any of the trucks here or nothing like
Nothing,
that? Or?
nothing. Yeah, I don't think there's probably spare parts laying out there in the crib
Yeah, the
room.
crib's
Right? Some
got pistons
cross-jack pistons and drop boxes, maybe, right? And maybe a block blown in half. Right? Let's see, threw that out. We had
Probably
that,
some of the cranks.
the eight cylinder that was turned into a V6 by mistake. But
Really?
yeah. So yeah.
There's plenty of Aries pistons out there.
Yeah. So, yeah. You should have, because like my dad goes on a tangent every once in a while, and he starts, everything's got to go. Got to throw out all the stuff, even though it might be good. Out it goes into the scrap.
Hey, let us
but,
know.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
take
but
some.
you're a saver.
I'm a saver. He's well.
Look at all
He's
this.
savers, yeah. So, but anyway,
He's still got.
sure.
He's still got some of his tires from
Yeah.
the ox out there.
Yeah.
Does he really?
Probably on one of the cribs, yeah.
Like 3 or 4 of them out there.
Yeah. So, but yeah, as far as the 2-wheel drive went to Simon's. Roger bought that. He
Okay.
ran it for, then he went and changed it, a bunch of it on it. And I don't know ever what happened. I don't know if he pieced it out or what. Who bought the tractor? Who bought their last tractor?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
It
mean,
was
we
the
bought-
ones that pulled, they are still pulling.
Well, I know Petros bought all the
Petros.
engines. They bought all the
Petros
engines.
bought-
They didn't buy the
yeah.
tractor though.
No,
Somebody
but they
else bought
bought
the
a bunch of the motors
Yeah.
and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you guys. I gotta
Yes,
run.
thank you. Thank you again.
Nice meeting you.
So that's where, and I really say I don't remember who even bought the tractor, a couple tractor chassis.
So you had a couple.
Yeah, we
Over
had
time.
that one, and then the 5-engine one was different.
Those are different
And then-
chassis.
Yeah, and then like say the last 5-engine one was actually was an England chassis that I forgot his name from out east, a Papa Bear. He had a bunch of Chevys, 5-inch
Yeah.
Chevy.
Papa Bear's still around.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I can't remember, maybe his kids are run, but that's whose chassis that was that
Super
I bought.
modified?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yep. Yep. From I forgot.
4x4?
Maryland. Well, no, we're talking tractor. Yeah. I can't think of his name. Do you remember his name? Yeah. But anyways, that was that chassis that we bought after he had it for, I don't know, a year maybe, because ours with the where we built ours with the notch in the frame, the 5 engine that started twisted way too much, and couldn't keep the shafts in line anymore, and started breaking transmissions and a lot of stuff because everything was twisted and wore, just the fatigue had worn out.
Right.
So we needed a chassis real quick and found that one. So.
And then he said that the ones for sale or is up for sale recently.
The 4-wheel drive is up for sale. Yeah.
Do you know where it's for sale at?
That's
The guy, Stuart Glander.
Who has it?
Yeah,
Okay.
my dad is.
That'd be neat to see it.
Yeah.
Actually, Dad doesn't
Like I said,
want it
it's changed. It's changed. Like I said, our shop guy kind of, I would say, butchered it up a
Cut
little
it
bit.
up.
It's got a flip body on it now.
Yeah. Kind of like, well, I think they had a picture of the flip body on here. What? The 80s Dodge body?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's an S10 now.
now, see
Oh,
that?
so that's the same
see
truck.
that chassis? See that chassis?
Yeah.
We had a guy build a sprint car, a local sprint car builder, midget and sprint car builder, build us that chassis.
I love that name.
It was pretty much the radical before that was before anybody else ran tube frames.
Yeah, you don't see those anywhere.
Do now. I mean, a lot of guys got. I see a lot of these are all. I forgot there's a place up in Michigan that apparently builds them, and I think Engler builds a bunch of
This
chassis.
is the one I cut out of a magazine, probably from the 80s.
Oh yeah, yeah. Neat. Yep. Yeah, this
So-
truck. Yep. Yeah, probably I forgot the one Steve Reyes used the magazine.
Did you ever get hurt in any of these pulls?
I didn't, but the shop foreman guy did with that triple engine tractor. He freewheeled it in one wheel, and the wheel sucked in off the rim
Yeah.
and got him in the tire. Actually came in and hit him in the shoulder, and he had a hell of a lot of burns and from the tire hitting him.
Because you didn't have the.
That was before.
fenders.
That was well. The fenders were there, but it actually tore the fender.
Oh, it tore the fender off.
because it sucked the tire up so much that it. They say pull it off the rim and then distorted the tire, kind of like a top fuel dragster tire.
Yeah, right,
So them
right.
did- yeah, kind of did the same thing.
But
Real hard track.
It's funny to see these with no roll cage.
Yeah. Back in the day, we
No helmet sometimes too.
Yeah, going way back. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I was watching some from the late 70s,
Yeah.
and these guys had
T-shirts.
T-shirts,
Yeah.
no fire
No
suit,
fire suits,
no,
nothing.
nothing.
Taking the old F20s and stuff like that, and no fenders at all.
Yeah.
Right.
You're sitting right
Yeah.
there against the tire.
So,
And they had those big cleats on them like that big
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
tires.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys traveled. Was it one place Germany? Somewhere
No,
in Europe.
Netherlands, which was nice because my wife's family, her dad immigrated from there, and the promoter paid for us to not haul the stuff over, but also paid for us to travel. So her father got to go back home and see his relatives that he hadn't seen. So that was, say the nice, cool things that tractor pulling gave me. The thing was to see all the. Used to had been to every stadium, now they're all outdated or changed or whatever, different stadiums. But back then they'd been to all the stadiums and been to Hawaii twice and Holland once, so it's nice and neat
All right,
experience.
we'll go. Nice
Thank
to
you,
meet
man.
guys.
Really appreciate
Nice
it.
talking to you.
Thanks.
So
So it's like a cool story you got from like when you were traveling.
well, I don't know.
Nothing crazy happened.
Nothing that I can think of. No.
No.
Just maybe the time when we were in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan, and Art Arfons and his bus
Ooh, yeah.
had broken axle. It's been downtown Detroit before it was quite as bad as it is now, but it was still a rough area of town, and on the road helping him change his axle in his bus. So
Was he pulling like the Green Monster
Yeah,
or something?
yeah. Him and that's another funny story.
Dusty.
We're pretty good. We're good friends with them.
Oh, you are?
I mean,
Really?
well, maybe my dad went to Art's funeral and all that, but I still see. But anyway,
You still see Dusty?
I don't see her, but on Facebook
On
and talk to
Facebook.
her. I've communicated a couple times with her on
Okay,
Facebook.
yeah.
But so the kind of my son was about 4 or 5, and always joked that we were pulling. Of course, we were pulling 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive truck plus the tractor, so we're somewhat busy. Well, my son was just joking. Go sit by Dusty, and Dusty will watch you. You know, 4 or 5 years.
Was she single at the time?
Oh yeah, that's before she met Randy. Yeah, So.
They still have their shop in like Anchor.
You know,
Akron,
I don't
right?
know. I don't know if I mean Tim's on Facebook once in a
Yeah.
while too, but I don't.
He's got a lot of pictures on there,
yeah.
so that's one place I want to go
Yeah.
and see
Yeah.
if they still have
Pickle
the Green
Road,
Monster,
Pickle Road factory. Yeah.
the tractor.
No, I think they. I see somebody else was running the track. I think they may have sold all the tractor stuff.
Really?
Yeah. I think.
Wow.
So, and Dusty's husband, built a lot of the tracks back in the day for SR or the indoor pulling stuff.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, that's how I think they got met. But he was a contractor that built a lot of the tracks for
Because
SRO.
we used to watch her and her dad pull. She looked pretty young, like I don't know,
Yeah,
early 20s maybe.
Early 20s. Yeah.
Was she married then?
No, probably not far after that.
Okay,
That her and
but
Randy got
her
together.
husband was building those tracks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's another neat thing I'd say about pulling. Got the opportunity to compete against Art.
Yeah.
Great guy. And
I know a little bit about him, but it's the more research I do, it just keeps expanding, like
Yeah.
the land speed.
the
and-
record, yeah.
I mean,
it's-
there's probably
it's
so much
crazy.
other stuff.
You talk about now technologies, but Art stuff was all cobbled this together from that together, and he was a genius of putting pieces of old stuff together.
Yeah, the shop.
So,
when
yeah,
you look at the
pickle-
shop on Facebook or whatever,
yeah.
there's just like
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
everywhere.
everywhere, yeah. Yep,
But he made it work.
Right, exactly.
So,
Sharp guy.
did you guys ever run turbine stuff?
No, that was probably the next step.
Oh, it was?
Just for the simple fact of the cost.
Mm.
I mean, whatever the initial cost of the turbine, but the maintenance on the turbines,
You get one
Yeah.
right across the street, maybe.
yeah. But the amount of replacement parts you got to do in a V8 engine, especially if you're running them hard, the blowers
Oh,
and all
it's
that.
so
yeah.
much more attrition on
Yeah,
it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, bigger, like the 4-wheel drive engine, with a big cubic inch and all that. I mean, you had to replace connecting rod every 20 or 30 runs.
Really?
Yeah.
What about blowers? Like, take that.
See,
Just
back
seal
back in our day, it wasn't quite as fancy as it is now. Blowers would maybe make a season. Well, now these guys are like, I think, about every other pass. I mean, it seems to me
Every
the
other
blower.
pass.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I look on thing and the blowers seem to be, especially like in the 2-wheel drive classes and all that.
Mm.
The amount of money that look like they're spending on blowers. I mean, we used to be able to buy a blower for $1,200, and now I think they're $6,000 or $7,000 just for an average one.
1471s too
Yeah.
now, right?
Well, yeah, and they're all offset and bigger and different rotors and all that stuff. So,
Good morning, Brewing.
so yeah, it's. I don't
Sure,
think,
Carl, hold on
I don't think
just
the purses have changed and make it
Sure.
any difference.
To get in there.
Yeah.
Carl
For me.
Ravenhorst.
So, send them here. Hey. Hi, Carl. Yeah. That's up to you. That's fine. Unless you want to just go get it off, and then we'll go from there for tomorrow, I guess. Why don't you see how I do coming up? And see how you do when you maybe. Oh, it's 1 now, so you're probably close to the state line, huh? Oh, okay. Why don't you see what time it is when you cross the state line? Unless you want to not rush. If you want to just do it tomorrow morning, that's fine with me. Yep. I can't see it at the moment because I haven't got the schedule. I got a good plan figured out yet, so working on it yet. Okay, then I'll text you. Okay, thank you, sir. Talk to you. Bye. So,
Are you completely out of the pulling now?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we say Dad quit, we decided, well, this is too much work, and And the problem was we couldn't find hardly, like I say, the amount of effort. The business got bigger, more trucks and all that, so that took more time, and then the effort involved in nights and stuff and all that. I had family with kids and all that. It just got to the point where, it's.
What was the farther? Would you go to Florida back in the 80s, 90s?
Oh yeah, I mean we had, like I say, went from Seattle to
Seattle.
Florida, yeah, to Tampa, Providence,
so
Rhode Island.
how would you work
to
that with
San
like
Diego.
a job? Like,
Well, my mother would, we'd leave between my father, we'd drive, the two of us would drive through the night to get to wherever the next day, figure it out where we maybe have 6 hours to spare sometimes
To
get
sleep?
there. Yeah, well, one of us drive, the other one sleep, and switch off.
what
so
if you took 3 pieces out there?
we had one one of the shop guys too. Yeah.
You got
So-
hotels, food.
No, I've never had.
fuel.
We were fortunate enough we had the one hauler we had living quarters in it and beds and all
okay.
that, and then when we went to, actually it was Chris Holdorf's trailer that we bought that had all living quarters in the front of it. So we usually stayed in the trailer and then used showers in all the arenas. We went to less than like the visitors' locker rooms or something to get showers and stuff. So
Because we
and food,
found that one
yeah,
online too.
Yeah. See, that had living quarters in the front of it there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So did you have a couple trucks then? Well, you had that semi, right?
Yeah. Then we had the semi. That would haul like the truck or the two-wheel. Well, that would haul anything. Then we had a box trailer we pulled behind that.
Was there like
The
a
second-
ramp going up like that?
Yes.
Put that long nose.
Yeah. Well, it just had a ramp, and then like say where the side door is on it.
Mhm.
That was the end of the cargo spot, and everything forward is
Right there.
living quarters. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Not much then.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I just like think about driving to Seattle, like,
yeah.
and then in a weekend, then you come back here or
You guys
something.
finish one, go to the next one. You had like
Pretty much every weekend in the
90
winter, yeah,
events.
yeah. Pretty much
Yeah.
in the winter, every weekend you
Yeah.
were somewheres with the indoor, the SR, it was
I had
SRO,
a guy-
U.S. Hot Rod Association or whatever.
Worked with a guy that drag raced, and he tried doing that, and the company finally told him it's either your job or racing.
That's
Which one
right,
do you
yeah.
want? And so
Well,
he had-
fortunately, my mother was more involved in running the business too. Then, so when I was gone, her father was gone, she'd be doing the stuff.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Thank you, man.
no problem.
Really appreciate it.
Enjoyed it.
Any
So,
other questions?
No.
did
no,
my
good
dad
work.
give you a card? If you got any other questions or any other thing,
Gave us
feel
a
free
lot
to
of
contact.
a lot of
contact.
names and phone numbers. And
Oh, did he?
like I said, we got a whole list, and goes from
Yeah.
close all the way out to California. So we're working close.
Yeah, I mean a lot of any questions or need to get a hold
And we went
of
to
something or questions, or feel free to holler.
Yeah.
we went to 2 towns before this, before we found you, and you said Bud's Truck Repair. So we're thinking like a shop like you got out there.
Yeah.
And then I start reading. I'm like, well, it says it's a freight company now. It's
Yeah.
different. And all of a sudden we come. And
No, see that was the repair shop kind of was an offshoot of the trucking business. We kind of the one guy that, like I said, they kind of got my dad started did it, and then he's also the guy that hurt himself driving the tractor, and he built a lot of the stuff too. It's like on that tractor, behind the front wheel, it says special thanks to Bill Weber. He's the guy that pretty well did a lot of the building on it. Rick Kipley did our engines, but we did most of the chassis building and all that in house here.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure you had
Yeah.
breakage when you're out. Like, say you're
Oh,
in
yeah.
Seattle and you blow a motor up. What do you do?
well, you usually had a spare. You run.
Oh, you did?
One, yeah. You usually
Or
had a
just drop
spare
down
up in
a
the
class?
up in the rafters of the trailer or whatever. Something was the best, but yeah.
So you got all the extra parts too, then, right?
Yeah.
Boxes and
Yeah, we had
clutches and
had all kinds of cabinets full of clutch discs or
whatever you need.
Yeah, and then like say we used to
Fuel.
run use the same engine, but we used both the run super modified and regular 4-wheel drive, where we had the chassis built where you could slide the rear end back.
Yeah,
and
he told us about
change
that.
the
That was cool.
intake manifold and blower, put all that on. Yep. So yeah.
That's so cool. I never heard anybody doing that. It was
Yeah.
either one or the other.
We're one of the few that.
There's others that did it.
No, I can't really think of anybody that maybe they had 2 trucks or something, but
Right.
yeah.
I've never seen anybody
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
slid it
Changed
back.
And it's funny that the engine worked as well as it did, you know.
So was that part of the? That's one question I have. Like with the super modifieds, when they put the axle, is that a requirement by rules?
No, it's you're more with more weight on the back to get better traction in the back. Plus the hitch is closer, so you got more down pull on
Pulls it
the
up.
hitch. Yeah, yeah. That's the purpose of sliding the axle back. Is
there a wheelbase limit or?
there is on both of them. Yeah, 4-wheel drive. I think what used to be 131 or 133, and then Supermod was 180, 179.
Was there a
So-
maximum too,
Yeah.
or you could do
No,
whatever
that
you
was the
want?
maximum.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was the max.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the further back, the better.
Right.
For,
Traction and weight.
Huh.
You try to counterbalance, the weight of the sled on the back axle
Mhm.
by hanging all the weights on the front, right?
Yeah.
In fact, that tube chassis 4-wheel drive was almost too much. We had it too much. I mean, we did everything where pretty much everything aluminum, titanium, and all that crap in the thing, and then the weight box in the front. We had so much weight in the thing that it almost always would
pull a wheelie when you're
you
backing
almost had to
up.
hold it down to get it to try to drive it around.
I
So-
remember. I think maybe we were able to like pick up the back of a 4-wheel drive
Yeah. So
just
yeah,
by yourself.
Yeah, and that, like I say, that we got to the point where that one was pretty much almost we had to hang weight on the back just to get it to move around.
Yeah,
So
because of the tube chassis so light,
yeah,
right?
yeah, with tube chassis plus, like I said, we went and had all kinds of other aluminum covers on the front of the axles and all kinds of other.
Did you ever hear of any good cheating stories?
I always used to joke, if you're south of Kankakee, Illinois, you're probably cheating. Because the southern guys
I
are
mean, put a little
good at-
nitro
good
in the
at-
fuel
good
or
at it.
something, or
yeah,
you know.
good at it, yeah. So, but yeah, there's always rumors, but nobody ever proves anything, So
That's one of the when we listened to Dale Jr.'s podcast.
Yeah.
he always likes to hear the old cheating stories.
Stories,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
So I mean, this kind of stuff, there wasn't
Right.
too many rules, so you could
Right.
probably get away with
It's a lot
so
more
much
stuff,
stuff
yeah.
if you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Oh man.
so
Well, thank you, man.
No problem.
Really appreciate it.
Got my car. Feel free to call anytime.
Okay.
So,
Well, my name's Rob.
Yep,
Reed.
Yep.
Derek.
Yep.
So we're just
Yeah.
having fun driving around finding this stuff
Good.
now that we
Yeah.
raised our kids, and
I hear you.
it's
Yeah.
fun hearing these stories again.
Be a
I hear
different
you.
story if we were retired. Then you can go to California and
Find all those out
it's all
there.
the wise. We'll be back in 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Yep.
Then we will need something to sleep in because we ain't gonna be home.
So,
All right.
all right.
Well,
Nice meeting you guys.
Really
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Got a lot of names and people
Isn't that nice?
check out more stuff.
Yeah, you guys know next summer, that's all you're gonna be doing?
Yeah, well, we have a
Pretty much.
place that's a cottage that's not too far from Toma.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna look that all up and see when that's all happening.
I know. I found a guy in Boston too, who has one of these.
Yeah, that's kind of by Madison, I believe,
Boston, yeah, that's about another hour and a half.
left of Madison. See how good I am?
Well, that's up by us.